What is up, everyone? Let's hope that the third time is the charm on this video. I've tried to film it 2 other times and realized that my microphone was not working after I filmed the video. So, somewhat on me, but a little bit of technical difficulties getting this one filmed for you guys. So, what we've got today, first and foremost, is a cleared and safe firearm here. But we've got my Kimber 2K11 Pro Royal. We're doing the 600 round review on this thing. So prior to, or the first couple attempts on this video, I was only at 500 rounds, and then I was at 550 rounds because I competed with it, and then went and shot some more. Maybe I was only at 500 rounds. I went and shot 100 rounds through it again just yesterday. So we are now at 600 rounds, and we will be doing a 600 round review. So just to kind of give anybody that hasn't seen the Kimber 2K11, this is a 2011, one of the more affordable, or bang for your buck, I guess you could say. It is a fairly expensive handgun. You can find this one for around anywhere from $2,400 down to $2,100. I know that there's people that have got them for cheaper, but yeah, it seems like most of the time the pricing is right around like the $2,200 price point. So with what you get for $2,200 on this thing, it is a very solid handgun. There are a couple things on here I'm not too much of a fan of, and I'll get into that a little bit later on in the video. But I really do enjoy this thing. I think it is a great shooting firearm. It is, for me, it's a tack driver, man. I love competing with it. It's very accurate. The trigger pull, as you guys can see, and we'll talk more on the trigger later, but the trigger pull, there's almost zero take up, and then you're at the wall. Your reset here, almost non-existent. So very solid trigger. But yeah, like I said, we'll get into that in a little bit. So first and foremost, this was my first 2011 I ever purchased. I really like the platform now. I really wanted to get into the platform, but also didn't want to join on the lower end of the spectrum and then want to continue to spend more and more money on getting, a more expensive 2011 that fires better, blah, 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 fill in the blank of whatever that you could do there. So I went with this Kimber 2K11 Pro Royal, which is the commander length, being a 4.25-inch barrel. Really like that size. I know a lot of people in the 2011 scene will either go, obviously, the full 5-inch slide, or sorry, 5-inch barrel, or you'll see guys run the 4.25. And a lot of people, competitive shooters at least, say that the 4.25 is really nice for a quick reciprocation on the slide. So even though you would think that there would be more recoil with the shorter barrel, you actually experience a quicker reciprocation. So it brings you back down to, if you're running an optic, it brings your optic back down to center faster. And honestly, the felt recoil really isn't that bad whatsoever. You guys will see a clip of me competing with it later on in the video. But yeah, so let's get into the review. So we'll start with all the things that I really do like about this, and then I think there's one or two things that I don't necessarily like about it. But starting off with what I like is exactly what I said earlier, is you get a lot for $2,300, $2,400. I only paid $2,100 for this thing. You could argue, spend a couple extra $100 and you have a staccato. However, if you do that, the staccato is either going to be a blem, which is like a blemished, or damaged, I guess you could say, sale item. So, you'd have scuffs or something somewhere. It'd be a base, there wouldn't be anything special to it. I mean, staccatos are obviously great, but, it'd be their baseline firearm. Whereas this guy, Kimber, put a lot of time and effort into really developing this thing, and I mean, you can see that just by looking at it. You have some really nice lightning cuts here on the slide, which reduces some weight. I think it also helps a lot with the felt recoil. I don't think this gun is a very heavy hitter whatsoever. Shoots very flat in videos and everything like that. And build drills with this thing are really fun because it is a pretty light mass up top. Doesn't come back and hit you very hard at all. But yeah, so that's that with the lightning cuts. The slide serrations are amazing, man. I absolutely love those slide serrations in this slide. They are very deep and they're incredibly sharp. So, but not so sharp that I could run my thumb here and not like get cut up or anything like that. However, they do feel like they would cut you. And I know a lot of people have said that based on their grip, they're getting a lot of like dead skin, like a lot of dead skin buildup on this side or whatever if you're a righty. But I mean, I don't experience that at all with my grip. You guys can see my grip here. Like I don't experience the slide catching my thumb at all whatsoever. But yeah, so really like those ads on the slide, or I really like those additions to the slide. I also really like that you get a fluted barrel at this price point, which I know improves accuracy. I don't know really what the margin of the accuracy improvement is on them, but I know it does help with accuracy at longer range. And it just looks cool. It looks really cool. I really enjoy it. You also get the external ejector. Again, this is kind of the ejector format that you really want, or the style ejector that you want, because if you have an internal ejector like most or all 1911s, a lot of 2011s that are kind of lower price point have internal ejectors that you have to tune as you continue to shoot your gun. So this external ejector takes care of that. You won't have to really touch it up until like the 30,000 round mark, ideally, if everything goes well. But yeah, I think that's just a really nice addition to this handgun and really raises it up a tier over the competition around the price point. You also have the really nice trigger, like I was saying. I really like it. It's super low, or sorry, not super low. It's a super light trigger. I don't know the exact specs on it. I'm sure you guys can find that, but as you can see, it's like there's zero take up and the reset is non-existent. The reset is so fast, I almost find myself sometimes when I'm shooting for accuracy instead of speed with this thing, where I'm going slower. Sometimes I really don't even feel the reset, and I almost am like waiting for the longer reset, but it's not that. It is a really uh, short reset for the trigger, and I really find that enjoyable. You know, going into just the overall build on this thing, as you guys can see, there's no sort of movement whatsoever. You can, if I'll put this by the mic, you can kind of hear a little bit of shaking, but overall, this thing is built really, really tight. The tolerances are very tight, which is good. It's really good for a 2011. But it's also not so tight that you'll have a lot of reliability issues, or say if you were to run this thing in 3-gun or something like that, the slide getting kind of stuffed with mud or whatever else you're rolling around in, that could cause an issue. But with this one, it's not super tight like super tight Atlas style machining where there would literally be no movement whatsoever. So I think this and for the price point too, it makes sense. Another thing I really enjoy about this handgun are the grips. So these are the MJD hex grips. I wouldn't really say it feels like a rubber. It appears to be rubber, and I know that they are kind of like maybe like a polymer cover, because this is a, what do I want to call it? This isn't a polymer grip module. There's metal under it. However, yeah, I don't know. Actually, you know what? Completely forget I said that. I don't know if the MJD grips are a polymer grip module. They very well could be. I know that some of the Kimber 2K11 series are the steel frame, or maybe they're aluminum, but they're a metal frame. Maybe this one is polymer, so don't quote me on that. However, it adds a really nice feel. And the checkering that they do, or that they added on the front of this, makes it feel like a metal, like a really nice kind of metal sticky, like you can see I'm trying to like rip my hand out of there, and that checkering really keeps your hand locked in there. So very nice touch by Kimber on that. um, you have a pretty basic mag release over here on this side. I know that you can, and it's threaded in that little hole there. So you can get some larger mag releases if you want it. But I don't find myself really needing that at all. This is the stock Checkmate mag, and this is without me breaking my grip really at all. You know, I can reach that and not have any issues with needing to break my grip whatsoever. A lot of guys sometimes have to like move the pistol over or something. But you know, you can just shift your fingers just a hair and you're right there. Now, with that being said, this does come with two Checkmate mags that I really do enjoy. I haven't had a single issue on the Checkmate mags. I will say I did have my first ever malfunction with this pistol using these Prodigy mags. I had a stovepipe, so through 600 rounds, I've experienced one single malfunction, and I don't know if it'll act up right now, but these Prodigy mags can sometimes hang up at the top, and I notice it a lot more. Like, say if we were to lock this back, I don't know. Yeah, usually when I'm firing the pistol at least, um, I experience a little bit of stickiness up top. But I don't know. Maybe these are finally starting to break in a little bit. They've got, I'm not sure what the coating is on these Prodigy mags, but obviously they are black in color. So I don't know. I really prefer the nickel plated Checkmate mags, but I prefer the look of this base plate when stuck in the handle here. So that to me is just a great looking 2011. I really like the look of an extended mag, or a little bit of a base plate on there. I think it adds just a cool aesthetic. But yeah, so I mean, those are the things I really, really enjoy about the handgun. Now, the couple of things I'm really not too much of a fan on is, as you can see right now, guys. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you guys watch. If you just watch this post here, my optic is loose again. So I'm currently running a CNH plate on here. These bolts had, or screws, whatever you want to call them, they had blue Loctite on there. And I thought they were going to handle well. I've been reading up. I know that the CNH plates can come loose for a lot of people, which I'm currently experiencing. I had to order this one. So the one that I got has the co-witnessing rear sight in there. I had to order that because I'm obviously running a Vortex Venom on here, the enclosed dot. And that footprint is a Delta Point Pro. So the plate that this thing comes with is a RMSC or RMR, one of the two. So yeah, I with this price, at the price point that this pistol is, I really think that they should have thrown in more plates than what they did. I think you should have plates for literally any plate, or sorry, any optic that you want to run. 23 $2,400. We'll just call it at the highest price point. At $2,400, I think you should be able to throw in. So with that being said, I mean, I ordered the C&H plate. Obviously, I'm experiencing that issue where these things come loose, and I might be in trouble, honestly, because the Torx wrench that I put these in here with really cranked it down. I kind of stripped the bolt a little bit, so that's another thing. You know, I don't have a nice like fix-it sticks or something like that, like a little torque wrench. So if you got to be really careful because the metal on the bolts, as well as the metal on my cheap like little multi-tool that I got from Amazon, uh, was pretty soft. So trying to get this thing really cranked down, knowing the issues that it could have of coming loose, trying to avoid that. You know, I did some damage on the screws and whatnot and my tool. So overall, like I said, guys, I mean, I only have one malfunction out of 600 rounds through this thing. However, this is the second time in 600 rounds that my optic has came loose, and it's really starting to frustrate me a bit because I know that a lot of people recommend getting a Dawson plate and that they didn't have any issues with Dawson plates. But you know, I mean, the Vortex Venom is a lot cheaper than pretty much any other optic that you can get. I might look into maybe getting like an Olight optic to put on here. I think that might fix me, because what I was going to say is that Dawson doesn't offer, from what I saw on their site for the 2K11, they don't offer a Delta Point Pro footprint adapter for this thing. So I'm kind of SOL when it comes to running this optic, and I'm just going to have to figure something out because I have my first competition on Wednesday. So I've got 3 days to either try to get a plate, try to put this optic back on tighter and hope it hangs on in my competition, or I guess or some other answer, you know. But yeah, guys, that's my 600 round review on the Kimber 2K11 Pro Royal, the 4¼ inch barrel. Really enjoying it so far, spare for the optics issues that I'm experiencing, or the optics plate issues I'm experiencing, rather. But overall, I think it's a phenomenal handgun. And once I dial that in, it's going to be nothing but blue skies and sunshine. So I'll throw a clip in here of me competing with this thing. It's a lot of fun. I've got a nice belt setup I'll do a video on. It's a Black Scorpion belt setup that I really enjoy for this thing. So yeah, enjoy this little clip of me competing, and I'll see you guys in the next one.